Hi everyone. As you might know that I'm preparing a series on solution architecture, and this is the second video of the series. First video, I provide an introduction of the solution architecture and what solution architect does. And in this video, I am moving to the requirements gathering. Before I prepare more videos on how to prepare the solution architecture, this step is like how to gather the requirements for the solution architecture. In an organization, and if you have watched a few my videos on enterprise architecture, where I have provided some introduction on the business architecture, I have mentioned that how business architecture is one way, and some organizations may use something different, but business architecture is a one way that provides ability to act in a coordinated fashion, um, with a commonly understood set of objectives. So business defines a strategy, and business has business goals and business objectives that they want to achieve through IT. And business architecture helps to do this mapping from a strategy to execution, and it also helps in understanding those business objectives and vision and mission and goals of the business, as well as it also aligns those the execution with the strategy. So that organization is not running multiple initiatives or multiple projects trying to achieve the same goal, and in a way doing some duplicate things. So in order to build an integrated solution for the common goal, business architecture is a very good tool for maintaining this traceability and transparency across entire organization. Um, and For example, if you or I, we are working on it as a solution architect, and how this relates to us. So if we look from top to bottom, end to end, say, then we can imagine how this might be. That okay, assume some business comes up with some new strategy. For example, there is a financial institute, a banking or some fintech, and they want to launch a credit card. They want to enter into credit card business. They might already have some retail banking or some payment product, and now they entering into the credit card business. So they will define that is their strategy. Now next they define someone from the architecture team, like enterprise architect or business architect, has to define this the end-to-end value stream, or someone will define the process, how the credit card will be, how this journey would be looking into. But value stream is at a very high level that provides how the value is delivered to the customer. So, um, so an organization may have some existing capabilities since this is a financial institute. For example, they might already know how to onboard a customer. They might already have some eligibility checks. They know how, they might already have some loyalty programs, and they know how to award the and or provide rewards to the customer. And so they might already have product management, portfolio management, customer relationship management, risk management, fraud management, and so on, business capabilities. Um, so one of the first things that an enterprise or business architect might do is to create this end-to-end perspective of how organization is going to create value and deliver the value to the customer, and then they are going to map each stage of the value stream to the business capabilities that are needed to deliver in that value stage, and or they might be business capability who will be impacted with this new value stage. um, as an example, I have shown that okay, in the offer value stage, the impacted business capability is customer relationship management. At the same time, if business applications are mapped to business capabilities, then we can easily identify which business applications will be impacted or where the change will come as part of IT project in which business applications. So business analyst or anyone from the business team or someone responsible for providing the business requirements, they write the user stories for each stage of the value stream. And if we look from top to bottom, everything is mapped from value stage to business capabilities, to business application, to user stories. And definitely, delivery manager or project manager would like to know which stories are part of the first release and second release and so on. And this way, those user stories can be highlighted like, okay, these are part of the first release. If we want to deliver some part of value from the first release, then someone has to prioritize, and usually it can be product owner or product manager or business analyst who can select the stories from each um, select the stories, and he or she will know that okay, these stories map to which value stage, and create a package of stories that can be delivered as part of the first release or second release, so that customer receives some value and start seeing it, seeing the value, or at least fulfill the minimum viable product. Um, um, if now there are requirements, but then we can look into deeper into the requirements. So there are business requirements that define the business problems to be solved or the business opportunities to be addressed by the software product. In general, the business requirements define why the software product is being developed. Now, business requirements are typically stated in terms of objectives of the customer or the organization who is requesting the development of the software. The user requirements look at the functionality of the software product from the user perspective. They define what the software has to do in order for the user to accomplish their objectives. The multiple user level requirements may be needed to fulfill a single business requirement. The product's functional requirement define the software functionality that must be built into the product to enable users to accomplish their tasks and thereby satisfying the business requirements. The multiple functional level requirements may be needed to fulfill a user requirements. There are user level quality attributes who are non-functional characteristics that define the software product quality, including its reliability, safety, etc. A quality attribute may also translate into a product level non-functional requirement that specify the characteristics of the software must possess in order to meet that attribute. For example, an ease of use requirement might translate into non-functional requirements for related to response time to the user commands and report requests. For example, they might say that okay, a user, there shouldn't be a delay of more than 1 second on a click on the website. The constraints define any restrictions imposed on the choice that the supplier can make when designing or developing the software. For example, there may be a requirement that the completed software use no more than 50% of the available system memory or disk to ensure the ability for future enhancement. There can also be constraints from the regulation side. For example, if the company launching a new credit card, they might be looking to PCI DSS and other related regulations, and they can be the constraints for the software. So there can be business requirements, user requirements, functional requirements. Ideally, actually, business requirements can translate into user requirements, and user requirements can translate into the functional requirements. And then there can be some user level quality attributes. There can be some product level quality attributes. We can also call them non-functional requirements. And then there can be some constraints. So A non-functional requirement is a more common term compared to quality attribute. And non-functional requirement is a requirement that specifies criteria that can be used to judge the operation of the system. So it doesn't tell us about the system behavior, but instead it tells about the how system operates. And it a quality attribute is a measurable or testable property of the system that is used to indicate how well the system satisfied the needs of its stakeholders. So, for example, performance, availability, etc. For example, system will run 7 days a week, 24 hours per day. That is a non-functional requirement. Whereas there can also be some constraint. For example, there is some constraint related to technology stack that we must use Microsoft technology stack. Lastly, functional requirements tell us what system shall do, whereas non-functional requirements can tell us how the system shall do things. Mm, there is a technique requirement illustration and analysis techniques that solution architects may apply from the beginning. Like, okay, when they look at requirements, or maybe they need to discover the stakeholders to discover more requirements. They can group related requirements, whereas it might be possible that these things are already done for the solution architect, but if it's not done, then actually solution architect can also involved into doing these things. Remember, functionality which comes from the business or the like actually business analyst, product owner, or product manager describes the capability of the system. And every system has an architecture, regardless whether it's monolithic or microservices based, on-prem or cloud-based. Now, if the only criteria for the system's acceptance is the system user gets the right answer, then we don't need to worry about the architecture and there is no need for the solution architect. However, the business concerns go beyond getting just the right answer. And some realize it early, some realize it late, but everyone wants system should meet the performance goals. It should be compliant with policies and regulations. System must be scalable. A right answer is delivered in right time and only to the right people. System should be secure, and if the system is fragile, it won't be available sometimes, and no one wants that. And sometimes these kind of things are not mentioned in the requirements document. And if system is not modifiable or not maintainable, then making changes in one part may create problems in other parts of the system. Now, this kind of requirement might not be present in business use or functional requirements. These are kind of quality attributes. And quality attributes, defining the quality attributes is not a solution architect shouldn't be depending on the business person or someone like a product owner, product manager, or business analyst to document all the quality attributes because solution architect knows these things better. A business stakeholder or development team or project or delivery manager may not have time and they may not have the skills to define and document such quality attributes or non-functional requirements. Usually, a solution architect is the best person to define them and document them and govern the IT project development such that those requirements are known and met by the system. Um, and for that, actually, in order to properly define these quality attributes or more commonly non-functional requirements, now they both are not the same thing, but actually we can assume it's same. And solution architects can facilitate a quality attribute workshop. It's an early intervention method to generate, prioritize, and refine quality attribute scenarios before the software architecture is completed. Ideally, there should be at least 5 quality attributes or it can be up to 30, but don't go beyond 20, 25, or 30, at least not in a single workshop. And now solution architect actually schedules this workshop. Solution architect can provide a handbook providing some examples of the quality attribute taxonomies and questions and scenarios. For example, here I have shown a few steps that can be part of a quality attribute workshop. And if required, there can be more than one quality attributes workshop solution architect can schedule in order to properly document those or capture those quality attribute. Now, actually, there are quality attributes, there are functional requirements, and there are constraints. But not every requirement is significant for the software architecture. Solution architect is the smartest person in the team. Solution architect knows what is significant, what is not significant, at least for his or her job, which is to define the architecture. So architecture significantly affects software quality cost, but not all the system requirements affect software architecture equally. In many cases, only some requirements determine and shape a software architecture. We call these architecturally significant requirements. If these are wrong, incomplete, or inaccurate, software will be developed, or the architecture is highly likely to contain some errors. For example, requirements such as what is the layout of the contact us page, or the temperature should be displayed in Celsius. These are not architecturally significant requirements. But a requirement related such as payment gateway integration on the website, requirement related to availability of the website, these are architecturally significant requirements. And as a solution architect, you should be knowing in a project that what are the architecture significant requirements, and maybe you should maybe or not. Actually, I would recommend, yes, you should document these architecturally significant requirements or mark them separately. One of the way to record architectural significant requirements in one place is using the utility tree. It shows priority of each architecture significant requirement in terms of impact on architecture and the value, that is the business or mission value. So, and on the scale of low, medium, and highs, for example, if its impact is high and also its value is high, then it can be HH. So ASRs are captured like scenarios, and the root of the tree, this utility tree, is the placeholder node called utility. The second level of tree contains broad quality attribute categories, and third level goes deeper into those categories. An ASR that has a rating of HH are the ones that deserve the most attention. And if there are very large number of HH, then it's also a matter of concern because maybe then system is not achievable. If you as a solution architect don't see established processes for gathering requirements such as ASR, then you can establish them. And I would recommend this book to read to know more about software architecture and its software quality attributes and the process to capturing the AR. In reality, I came to know about quality attributes, specifically quality attribute term from this week only. You can also refer quality models such as shown on this screen. So a quality of a system is the degree to which system satisfied the stated and implied needs of its various stakeholders. And those stakeholder needs such as functionality, performance, security, maintainability, etc. are precisely what is represented in this quality model. So this quality model characterizes the product quality into characteristics and sub-characteristics. This model was defined by ISO, but there are other models, and for example, from Microsoft, from SCI, and different projects or team can prioritize product product quality characteristics according to their context. Also, they might remove some of these. But if a solution architect working in a project, they can keep this such a model as a handy to know or ask the right questions that okay, what is the performance expectation, etc. Thank you. And if you like the video, then please like. And if you like to be notified of the future videos in this series, then please subscribe. Thank you.